Chapter 4. The Fall of a Legend, the Final Days of Babe Ruth. By the mid-1930s, something painful started happening. For the first time in years, Babe Ruth no longer looked unstoppable. The man who once terrified pitchers, the man who filled stadiums with screaming fans, the man who made baseball feel larger than life, was getting older. And honestly, nobody was ready to see it happen. Because for millions of fans across America, Babe Ruth didn't feel human. He felt immortal. But time catches everybody eventually, even legends. The game starts changing as younger players entered baseball. The game slowly started evolving. Babe Ruth still had power, still had fame, still had the crowd, but his body wasn't moving the same anymore. The speed started fading, the reactions slowed down, and whispers quietly began spreading across baseball. Is Babe Ruth finally finished? For years, nobody dared ask that question. Now suddenly, everyone was thinking it, and deep down, Babe Ruth probably knew it too. The man who couldn't walk away. Even as his performance declined, Babe Ruth refused to let go of baseball, because baseball wasn't just a sport to him anymore. It was his identity, his entire life. The crowds, the noise, the stadium lights. He couldn't imagine living without them. And honestly, that made the final years even more emotional, because fans could still see flashes of the old Babe Ruth. One powerful swing, one legendary moment, one glimpse of greatness, and suddenly the stadium would erupt again like old times. But those moments became rarer and rarer, and baseball slowly started moving forward without him. The final goodbye. Eventually, Babe Ruth's legendary baseball journey came to an end, and for fans across America, it felt unreal. The man who changed baseball forever was finally walking away from the game. No more giant home runs, no more packed stadium explosions, no more Babe Ruth magic under the bright lights. And honestly, baseball itself felt different without him, because Babe Ruth wasn't just another superstar. He was the reason millions of people fell in love with baseball in the first place. That's how massive his impact became. The saddest battle of his life. But then, life hit Babe Ruth with a battle bigger than baseball itself. He became seriously ill, and slowly, the strong, powerful legend that fans once knew started fading away. The photos became heartbreaking. The crowds became quieter. And America watched one of its greatest sports heroes suffer. But even during those painful moments, fans never stopped loving him, because Babe Ruth had already given the world something unforgettable: hope, entertainment, magic, memories that would survive forever. The final stadium moment. One of the most emotional moments in baseball history came when Babe Ruth returned to Yankee Stadium one final time. The crowd stood up. Fans cheered loudly. Some people cried, because standing there was not just a baseball player. Standing there was the man who built baseball into America's biggest sport. The stadium lights glowed around him. The cheers echoed through the crowd. And for one final moment, it felt like baseball history itself had come alive again. The legend never died. In 1948, Babe Ruth passed away, and America went silent. Thousands of fans came to honor him. Newspapers covered his death everywhere. People cried in streets, because losing Babe Ruth felt bigger than losing an athlete. It felt like losing a piece of American history. But legends never truly disappear, and Babe Ruth proved that forever, even decades later. Fans still talk about him. Kids still wear his jersey. Baseball documentaries still tell his story, and every time a player smashes a giant home run into the crowd, a small piece of Babe Ruth's legacy lives on again. Because some athletes become stars, some become champions, but only a few become eternal. And Babe Ruth, he became eternal forever.